Today we head to RTX in Austin where I cosplayed.
Talk with the creator of Final Fantasy.
Reveal the secret origins of Rocket League.
And have some fun with the new Overwatch hero.
This is the IGN Show.
Welcome to the IGN Show. I'm Alanah Pierce.
And I'm William Haynes. Today we get to learn all about the new Overwatch hero, Doomfist.
Plus, we're going to do what we normally do when the cameras aren't recording, talk about Kingdom Hearts 3.
And there's Doomfist.
And later we'll head to Anime Expo and get FaceTime with the creator of Final Fantasy. Please stop.
Sorry. But first, Alanah, you recently went to RTX. What happened?
I did. I organized a group cosplay with some of my favorite cosplayers. We did punk versions of the Sailor Scouts from Sailor Moon, and it was awesome. Here's what happened. Cosplay is a core ingredient for all pop culture conventions. If you find yourself walking the show floor of a con, you're sure to see tons of awesome cosplay from totally different kinds of people, and it's pretty much the best. Everyone in the cosplay community has their own reasons for what, who, why, and how they cosplay.
I got immediately addicted because there were so many people that had the like mindset. It's just such a great escape. You can pretend to be someone else for a day.
I love the researching, I love the making.
Don't ever listen to what people on the internet say about what you're doing. Just do it how you want to do it, have a good time.
And for me, it's all about getting to transform into a character I love and to appreciate the franchises I'm attached to by making, wearing, and sharing a costume with the world. From Lightning from Final Fantasy to Officer Jenny from Pokemon, getting to embody characters that usually only exist on screen is tons of fun, especially when you get recognized by other people who also love those characters. The cosplay community is the icing on the already awesome cake, too. Everyone's so welcoming, and we all get so excited to see what everyone else is making. That's why when I knew a whole lot of cosplayers that I love were heading to RTX in Austin, I wanted to get a chance to cosplay and share the excitement with them as a group for my first ever group cosplay. I'm teaming up with Jessica Nigri, Zombie, Riot Rogers, Mika Burton, Mini Moon Cosplay, and cosplay newcomer Barbara Dunkelman to make an epic team of punk versions of Sailor Scouts from Sailor Moon, inspired by Japanese girl gangs. After a week of last-minute panicking as a group, we made it. Roll call. Jessica Nigri as Sailor Moon, Barbara Dunkelman as Sailor Venus, Riot Rogers as Sailor Jupiter, Mini Moon Cosplay as Sailor Uranus, Mika Burton as Sailor Neptune, Zombie as Sailor Mercury, and me as Sailor Mars. This is probably one of the most fun days I've ever had in cosplay, and the fact that we all got to escort Jessica to a panel in full cosplay was so cool. Now, I'm even more excited for Comic-Con.
All right, Alanah, what was your favorite thing about RTX?
This is one of my first times ever cosplaying in a group, and there's something really cool about seeing all that come together. We were all stressed leading in the convention, sharing photos with each other, and then we finally met up in person and just got to see the end result of all of our hard work, walk the show together, and kind of have all of these people react to us really positively. It was awesome just having that come to life.
Now it's time to talk about the return of an epic video game character, Crash Bandicoot.
Whether you're nostalgic or just want to know what all the hype is about, you're going to want to check out our review of the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy.
As someone who played the first 3 Crash Bandicoot games over and over again, the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy delivers exactly what I wanted. Vicarious Visions remakes of these fondly remembered platformers retain the demanding challenge of Naughty Dog's originals, coated in a polished, modern sheen that has the glow of a Saturday morning cartoon.
Good show, Crash. The Komodo brothers obviously lacked your mettle. But now's not the time to get cocky.
But for those jumping into the trilogy for the first time, the original Crash won't leave the best first impression. Having years to reflect on them and returning now to the trilogy in this new form, Cortex Strikes Back, on the whole, stands the test of time as the best overall package. There's an excellent blend of truly challenging core platforming and extra objectives. Secret levels, death routes, and extra gems all make a return. The second entry offers a smart balance of maddening difficulty, but also makes me feel that overcoming every obstacle will take just one more try, even if it takes just a dozen more. And it's that balance that epitomizes what made these games such great platformers over a decade ago, and what has allowed the second and third entries to stand the test of time. The third game, Warped, is also fantastic, but doesn't strike quite the same balance in difficulty. Crash has so many new moves that completing most of these levels is a relative breeze. A few extra additions for the Insane Trilogy range from addictive time trials to the fun but superfluous ability to play as Crash's sister Coco, who has all the same moves. Thankfully, those original, maddening yet rewarding challenges have stood the test of time mechanically, and Vicarious Visions has done great justice to them with a gorgeous level of polish and care. The overall package has me itching to collect every crystal, gem, and relic yet again. Crash is back, and I hope he's sticking around for a bit.
Psst. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. You're gonna wanna download the IGN app. Get all the latest reviews and news on gaming. Plus, later, the Overwatch heroes get clobbered by Doomfist. And we got a sit-down interview with gaming legend, creator of Final Fantasy, Sakaguchi's son. Stay with us.
Ever since we got our eyes on Doomfist's iconic gauntlet in the very first Overwatch reveal trailer, players have been asking two questions: who is he, and when can I play him? Well, good news, he's finally here, and is so powerful that he's already been nerfed. But nevertheless, his abilities look to shake up the meta, and were well worth the wait.
A key leader to the antithesis of Overwatch talent, Doomfist uses his mobility and passive to mix it up at close range. His primary fire shoots a standard shotgun spread that slowly reloads over time. But this is an ability-focused hero, and as such, his other abilities really define his kit. Alternate fire charges up a rocket punch, which will propel you an incredible distance and damage the first enemy you come into contact with. Plus, bonus damage for knocking foes into a wall. His shift executes a jumping uppercut that combos very well with his E, Seismic Slam, which damages enemies in a cone and pulls them towards you. It's also worth noting that every enemy hit with an ability generates a flat 30 damage barrier, up to a maximum of 400 total health. Finally, his ultimate Meteor Strike is absolutely nuts. He leaps into the sky and comes crashing back down to Earth with dizzying force. Enemies directly in the center will take additional damage, and you can move during this process. But if an opportunity presents itself, the ult can be ended early. Doomfist's ultimate is particularly useful for knocking enemies into environmental hazards.
Oh man, I am so sold on Doomfist. How are you feeling about it?
I feel fantastic. He's exactly the kind of hero that I like to play, and also the narrative lead-in wasn't super long-winded like it was with Sombra. Blizzard does this thing where they kind of tease the characters coming up through clues in the world or maybe some media stuff on their site, but this time we had seen Doomfist Gauntlet from the very first video that we ever got to see of Overwatch. It's in the Numbani map, you push it across the map, there's a whole museum, hero or villain, Doomfist, but they didn't say anything other than that. They just dropped him right on the PTR and here he is.
And then even when we have him, it looks like he's a really quick character. All the cooldowns are like 7 seconds or so.
Right.
So he's really fast. He's got a lot of really interesting abilities as well. I'm a huge fan of the shotgun, looks really ranged, and that rocket punch leap
Rocket
thing.
punch, man. Just like you said, all the abilities are on a very short cooldown relative to other characters, and I like that a lot. It feels like a MOBA to me. That's a tenuous comparison, I know, because Overwatch is a hero shooter. However, when you're playing Doomfist, it's just the kind of hero that I like to play because he's a flanker, he gets in the back line, he messes stuff up, and again, you're pressing a ton of buttons because all those awesome abilities are on a very short cooldown. Really fun.
So how do you think he's going to affect the meta?
So I think he kind of soft counters a couple characters right now, one being Reinhardt. He can charge straight through his shield, and Reinhardt has been prevalent since the very beginning of Overwatch. I'm not sure how he'll fare against D.Va, and he does kind of have to get in, do his business, and get out, but I'm really looking forward to seeing what he does to the overall game.
So he's going to be good against some of those tanks, is what it sounds like.
Absolutely. Yeah, and the final note is he's just super fun, which is a blast.
Anime Expo was filled with so many great experiences, but by far one of the coolest moments was sitting down with the video game legend and Final Fantasy creator, Hironobu Sakaguchi. Over the past 30 years, the beloved Final Fantasy series has grown to 50+ titles that include its famous traditional turn-based RPGs, to MMOs, to rhythm games. We sat down with series creator Hironobu Sakaguchi to get his thoughts on the evolution of RPGs and the future of gaming. So when you were creating the first Final Fantasy, did you ever imagine RPGs would be as grand as they are now, as huge and open world and so much to do in each of them?
それはもう常に。
I think there were a lot of unexpecteds throughout the years in games, and the evolution is so fast and always unexpected. So it wasn't expected. I don't think I'll ever be ready for how fast the space is transitioning. So how it's going to expand in the future remains to be seen, but I'm very excited to see what it has in store.
Is there another Final Fantasy you'd ever want to create? Did you have any ideas?
Well, I think in Final Fantasy VI, we kind of mastered, or we got 2D as far as we thought we could push it. I am kind of personally curious, not that this is going to happen, but if Final Fantasy VII and 8 and 9 were developed and built in 2D, how would that look? What kind of game would it be? So it's kind of a parallel universe type of question.
I also wonder what that would be like.
Sakaguchi has now set his sights on a new series, Terra World, and hopes to spark the imagination of a new generation of gamers with its stories.
Moving on to Terra Battles, you said that you want to create 9 experiences for Terra World. Would we see one of those possibly on console?
So I don't know if you're familiar with something called the Download Starter, which we did on the original Terra Battle. And that is a kind of campaign and program where the more downloads we got, I would collaborate with different artists and bring their works into the game, which is a really exciting project. And I had made the promise at 2 million downloads that I would translate the Terra Battle into a console version. So it's not a matter of will we see it, but when. And I made a promise, so I have to keep it.
With Terra Wars and Terra Battles 2 coming out soon, I wanted to ask how long would you support Terra Battles, the original?
I would like to say that we'll support it forever. That is the idea, and as Terra Wars is released as well as Terra Battle 3, each one will kind of be independent of each other and be sustained, hopefully forever.
Of the 3 Terra World games we've seen so far, they've all been RPGs. Would we see any others from different genres as well?
Kind of similar to Final Fantasy, how each is an independent world, different characters, but there's similarity. It has the same kind of feel. I want to translate that into Terra World as well, where we'll have a sort of core idea or mechanic, but each world is kind of unique and independent. So I'm sure we'll see some other genres, but I don't think it'll go in a direction where story is kind of removed from the equation, as that's kind of what I really want to express.
And then is there anything else you'd like to say about Terra World or your Terra Battles, Terra Wars, or Final Fantasy?
Terra Battle 2 is, again, where most of my energy is going into right now. And in this hybrid, I intend to create 50 chapters worth of story, and we're going to be releasing a chapter per week. So it's almost like a serialized weekly drama you get to experience. So I hope you guys look forward to it and get to experience that.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Thank you.
Sakaguchi, legendary designer, created the Final Fantasy series. I have to ask, what was it like to interview?
He was a great interview. He was very personable. And after we had a lot of fun because we got to talk a little bit about my favorite vacation place, Hawaii. I'm very lucky to have ever gone, but he's even cooler because he lives there. And he does a lot of surfing, so we did a little thing where he hung 10. It was really
And 10
nice.
indeed. I have to ask, when it comes to these larger-than-life kind of classic designers, my thought process is always, does their design savvy carry over to a new, different age? Did you get that sense?
You know, it's really interesting because he's trying to build out Terra World as like this entire thing, kind of like Final Fantasy, and I'm really interested to see how it plays out because it's a PC game, it's a mobile game, and they're free to play. And they're coming to consoles, so we'll just have to see.
Well, I'm looking forward to hearing more about that. When we return, we are going to reveal the secret origin of Rocket League.
But first, we're gonna take a look at some of our favorite cosplay from this year's Anime Expo.
Do you guys have any recommendations for people new to cosplay? Try your best, utilize everything that you have, and don't be afraid if it doesn't look exactly like your character, because in reality it's more just having fun with what you're doing.
Keep going, like you get better over time, and it takes quite a while actually.
Just have fun, like no matter what your body type, no matter what you look like, just go for it. Like if you like that character, just go for it. Start with like an easy character to cosplay, just something that doesn't require a lot of props or intricate costumes. And then along the way, I would suggest doing more things like armor, which is really difficult, and intricate wigs and stuff like that.
If you get discouraged, don't stop. Just keep at it.
Over 30 million people played Rocket League, which makes it more than just a popular game, it's a worldwide phenomenon. How did that happen? Find out in this secret origin of Rocket League.
Rocket League is a pretty simple concept at heart. Rocket-powered cars playing soccer, or depending on where you're from, football. This is the secret origin of Rocket League. The simplicity of Rocket League's core idea can be a little deceptive, since it's descended from a few decades of out-of-the-box thinking in many different areas. Competitive video games are nothing new. Gamers have been trying to get a digital ball past an opponent since Pong. Even as early as the Atari 2600, International Soccer brought the beautiful game home in pixel form. Many mainstream sports titles have aimed for realism through the years, but Rocket League has more in common with the weirder side of sports gaming. These are the games that take full advantage of the fact that in video games, anything goes. One of the early hits of this kind was 1988's Cyberball. This spin on American football not only replaces the player with robots, it replaces the ball with an energy sphere that is slowly going critical as play progresses. Fail to cross midfield or score a touchdown in time, and the ball will explode, destroying your quarterback and, more importantly, turning possession over to the other team. That same year gave us Speedball, a blend of hockey, soccer, and handball, plus some extra violent twists, such as the fact that you score the same points for injuring another player as you do for actually scoring a goal. Speedball was one of the founding titles of the violent future sports subgenre. Many NES owners have fond memories of Cyber Stadium Series Base Wars from 1991, which applies the robot player concept to baseball. Any close play in Base Wars results in a mini fighting game breaking out, and players can carry lightsabers and laser guns as standard equipment. King of the unorthodox sports games of yesteryear is unquestionably the Mutant League Sports Series. Mutant League Football was released in 1993, with Mutant League Hockey following 1 year later. Set in a post-nuclear world in which mutants play professional sports amid toxic waste and landmines, these surprisingly solid sports titles shake things up, with player deaths on field. Less violent, but no less contentious, is the two-player mode of Marble Madness, another game in which the primary foes are gravity and inertia. Each player controls a marble, attempting to race through an obstacle course and reach the goal first. The objective tends to last until one player slams into the other and knocks them to their doom. When it comes to vehicle physics with friends, perhaps no game pre-Rocket League stands out more than San Francisco Rush 2049. Players could spend hours carrying around the arenas, launching off every slanted object in sight and using extendable wings on their car to maximize their airtime. It was a game mode very like this one that was the genesis for Psyonix's early acrobatic car project. Despite the wealth of creativity and talent behind all of these games, few reached the stratospheric heights of Rocket League. Against all odds, Psyonix managed to make an unlikely little game one of the breakout hits of the last decade. For a much deeper dive into the making of Rocket League, the long road Psyonix traveled, and the definitive history of the game, be sure to check out No Clip's The Story of Rocket League.
Coming up, we share our thoughts on the new Kingdom Hearts and discuss how many Keyblades you can own before it becomes a problem.
But first, Overwatch is more than just a great game. It's also inspired some of the greatest cosplay that's second to none. Let's take a look at some of our favorites.
Welcome back to the IGN Show. For those that might not be in the know, Kingdom Hearts is a unique series. It mashes up Disney and Square Enix characters into one universe.
Yeah, you've got Goofy and Sephiroth in the same game.
Yeah.
It is so bizarre, but I love it.
It shouldn't happen, but yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Somehow it works.
Over here you had King Mickey, who we've seen Mickey as a king before, that's not surprising.
Yeah.
But he's so powerful and serious and dark that it's just
mysterious.
like, what is happening? Yeah, it's just such a weird thing. And just blending it with Final Fantasy allows for that.
Yeah, it's really unique takes on characters that we know and love, and I think the thing that I love the most about playing Kingdom Hearts 12 years ago was when the second one came out.
Yeah.
Is it was like getting to explore these universes that I knew really well from Disney movies, but actually run around them myself in a 3D space. Like, I love Halloween Town. That's so good.
Yeah, and it also becomes Christmas Town too. Like, you also get to go to that. Yeah, I like that they actually evolve it in time too. It's more than just how it is in the movies. You get to go deeper into it and experience more.
Yeah, better lore. One thing that I really appreciated was I was really intimidated by Final Fantasy as a kid growing up because there were just so many. And I wasn't quite sure about the turn-based combat. Like, Pokemon was the only thing where I really experienced that. And I wasn't digging the way they did it before. So this one with it being fast action, I was like, okay, this is it. And it ended up being like a Final Fantasy 101.
Yeah.
You got Chocobos and the Moogles and of course some of the most iconic characters.
It's a really good way to get into Final Fantasy. But of course, Kingdom Hearts 3 is coming out at some point pretty soon. What are you guys most excited about?
I am looking forward to the upgrades. I mean, we've seen how much Final Fantasy has evolved, and like just the fluid action of Final Fantasy 15 is definitely going to translate over to Kingdom Hearts 3.
We've seen changes to combat already. You know, Sora's kind of like flying, jumping around the screen. Everything's
So
like
magical.
it's like
There's, like,
sparks.
stars. Yeah.
It looks really, really cool. How about you, Will?
I'm excited to see all the beautifulness. Obviously, from the trailer, it looks like it's going to be the best looking Kingdom Hearts game yet. I mean, it should.
Yeah, it's like better be.
Yeah, thank you for putting in the hard work for 12 years on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should also get new franchises and new things to explore, like different franchises that have developed over the past 12 years that we should be able to see in the game as well. Maybe we'll see some Final Fantasy 15 characters.
Ooh, that'd be cool. Okay, we could talk about this all day, but we can't because it's only a 30-minute show. So let's go ahead and wrap things up here.
Next week, we'll have more games, more cosplay, and we're headed to D23 and Comic-Con to show you basically anything on the floor worth pointing a camera at.
Which is most things. Plus, find out what it takes to break the speedrun record for Super Mario 64, and your favorite creators attempt the IGN Blindfold Challenge. Yes, it is ridiculous as it sounds.
That's it for this episode of the IGN Show. See you next week.
Keep it locked to IGN.
Thanks for watching.